Hi, everyone. It's so great to have you here on this Thursday morning. I am going to start as usual with a quick budget update. It's been an eventful couple of weeks here at the State House. And so yesterday during the full Ohio Senate session, the operating budget bill, substitute House Bill 96, was voted out on the Senate floor, which means that it has now completed its passage in both the House and the Senate chambers. So the bill is not done yet. It will now move over to conference committee where select members from both the House and Senate chambers will negotiate through any differences and land on a final version of the bill that will make its way to Governor DeWine's desk. In the current version of the budget, as compared to the executive proposal from Governor DeWine that we saw in February, we have seen an approximate $1.3 billion cut from critical investments in Ohio's youngest children and their families. And these cuts span across issues, including childcare, the child tax credit, home visiting and infant vitality, Medicaid access, and early intervention and the Imagination Library. The budget is not over until it's signed on June 30th. So yes, it's around the corner, but we have one more opportunity to make our voices heard before that budget is signed. So please, if you have not already done so, please join us and register for the Rally for Working Families. We will be on the west lawn of the Ohio State House down here, downtown Columbus. That'll take place Tuesday, the 17th, this coming Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. And this is our opportunity for Ohio's legislature to hear us as we gather to demonstrate the importance of prioritizing children, families, and early learning systems. So we really hope to see you there. I will now introduce our two esteemed guests, and thank you so much for being here. Ashiko Hudson is the project manager for the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood within the Ohio Department of Children and Youth. Ashiko possesses over 20 years of professional experiences working in the state, city, and county government, as well as nonprofit sector, with more than 7 years managing fatherhood programs at Action for Children. In his current role, Ashiko oversees all aspects of the Commission's fatherhood programs, including contract management, monitoring, and performance-based reimbursement. As a result of lived experience and his professional background, Ashiko is committed to improving the landscape of fatherhood in Ohio by advancing OCF's mission daily. Outside of work, Ashiko is a father of 4 and enjoys traveling and spending time with his family, children, and grandchildren, and watching his youngest play sports. Ashiko also holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from Franklin University. Ashiko, welcome. We're glad you're here. We also have Scott Neely, who currently serves since 2016 as the Government Affairs Director for the Children's Hunger Alliance, or CHA, a statewide nonprofit organization whose mission is to eliminate childhood hunger by ensuring that children without access receive healthy food, nutrition education, and physical activity. Scott previously served for 26 years as legislative liaison for the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, DRC, and for over 5 years as a budget management analyst for the Ohio Office of Budget and Management, or OBM. He has a Master of Science degree in Agricultural Economics from the Ohio State University and a Bachelor of Science degree from Purdue University. In addition to his position with CHA, Scott also serves as a governor appointee of the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood and is currently the chairperson. Scott also serves on the board of the Ohio Practitioners Network for Fathers and Families, OPNFF, and previously the board for the Community Economic Development Corporation of Ohio, or CEDCO. Scott currently lives in Westerville, Ohio with his wife, Dana, and has 3 children. Thank you both so much for being here. Really appreciate you. And we'll turn the time over to you. And Ashiko, I don't see slides on my end. Are you okay to share?
I am okay to share. I
Okay.
attempted to send that over, but transparently, we are having system issues, network issues over here. And so even sending emails is proving to be a challenge. So I would say, family, please bear with us. Bear with me as I pull up the presentation and share with you here just in a second. So if you give me a second, I'll...
You want, maybe, should I just go ahead and start Ashiko, and then while you're working on that, Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started here because I know we have a limited time, but thank you for that great introduction, Caitlin. Really appreciate that. I'm Scott Neely. As Caitlin said, I'm Government Affairs Director of Children's Hunger Alliance and the chair of the Commission on Fatherhood. And my passion for fatherhood work is rooted in my being a father to three children, as Caitlin mentioned. And I had the privilege of walking my daughter down the aisle this past Saturday, which was such a great event. And so great that I'm going to walk the other daughter down the aisle at the end of July. And I know you're all thinking that's insane, and it is insane, but that's how it worked out. So I'll probably be poor for a while, but it's such a blessing to be able to do that. So, but fatherhood work is so important, and Ashiko's going to show some stats here in a minute. But let me just read a few of the stats on when children are raised in father-absent homes. 1 in 3 children in America live in homes without their biological fathers. Those children are 5 times more likely to live in poverty, 3 times more likely to fail in school, 2 times more likely to develop emotional or behavioral problems, 2 times more likely to abuse drugs, 2 times more likely to be abused and neglected. We see we've got the presentation here. Awesome. Here's the stats. 2 times more likely to abuse drugs, 2 times more likely to be abused and neglected, 2 times more likely to become involved in crime, 3 times more likely to commit suicide. So on all these metrics, and there's many more metrics, fathers are critical, and mothers, of course, are critical too, but this is probably an area that has maybe been a little more neglected policy-wise. And so that's really the genesis of the Fatherhood Commission. 1999 is when the commission was created. Peter Lawson Jones, who was a former commissioner in Cleveland, then a state legislator, really felt a need to put more focus on this work, and so he sponsored legislation to create the commission. And I know Governor Taft at the time was very supportive. So 1999, there was funding. I can't remember if it was like 10 million Ashiko, but there was funding that was put behind the commission. Unfortunately, that funding went away in the 02-03 biennium. So the commission still existed, but it did not have funding behind it. But that funding came back in 08-09. Governor Strickland, when he was elected, made this a priority. And so that's when I think the commission really got going around that time, although the funding was actually reduced. I think we were down to like 2 million at that time, and we're 2.5 million per year now. So this is the timeline. Won't go through all this, but our current executive director, Kim Dent, was appointed interim basis 2012, and then was permanently appointed in 2013. And so Ashiko is going to talk more about the work of the actual office of the Fatherhood Commission, but Kim just has done a fantastic job, and all her staff. So this Fatherhood Commission is a statewide commission, 20 members, with a mission to improve the outcome of Ohio's children and strengthen Ohio's families by providing opportunities for fathers to become better parents, partners, and providers. And I know that's kind of small, but there's really 3 areas here that are focused on with the work of the commission: improving economic stability, foster responsible parenting through skills-based classes and individualized mentoring, and promote healthy relationships through conflict resolution and communication skills training. And then real small there at the bottom, it says, in addition to funding fatherhood programs throughout the state, the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood makes policy recommendations regarding fathers, engages the community, trains county leaders on how to mobilize their community to promote responsible fatherhood. This framework allows the commission to strategically promote father engagement on all levels. So as I mentioned, there's 20 members of the commission. We meet 5 times a year. Here's the composition of the commission. We have 4 members of the House of Representatives. We have 2 members of the Senate. It's bipartisan. The governor has a representative. These are the state agencies that are represented on there. Actually, when I was with the Department of Correction, I was appointed to represent the director. And then when I came to Children's Hunger Alliance, the governor actually has one of the 5 appointees of the governor. So we have 20 total members serve 2-year terms. And let's see, we'll go to the next slide, I guess. And here's just all the members of the commission, and you can go to our website and see all of this. But yeah, we've got just a super engaged group. A lot of these folks I've known for years, and they're just tremendous people, and they really believe in this mission. So we won't get into the budget a lot, but there is some pending dollars that were put into the commission in the Senate, which could be super helpful. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to turn it over now to Ashiko, because he's going to get into the nuts and bolts of the grants that we provide and the work of the staff of the commission. So go ahead, Ashiko.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. And thank you all for allowing us, again, an opportunity to share our passion, the work that we do. And so quickly, here is a view of our staff. As Scott mentioned, you have our executive director, Kim Dent, our manager of operations, Josh Counselor, our admin professional, Terry Simons. We have our human services developer, Kelly McMullen, and there I am, our project manager. So let's talk about our core program, why we do what we do. Our goal at the end of the day is to not only advance the mission of the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood, but also to assist fathers and help families through fatherhood. And so we have at this time 9 core programs throughout the state of Ohio, and you have a map here that shows the 9 agencies that we fund through, again, our See Fathers grant. So within this grant, there are multiple focuses, but what is consistent across the agencies that we fund is that co-parenting piece. We believe wholly in the fact that even though in most of the families that we serve, we find that families are not nuclear and they are typically 2 households, but we believe in the aspect of co-parenting and providing a level of support for the co-parents, because we know that at the end of the day, if parents are healthy, then our children have a better opportunity to be healthy as well. So we place an emphasis on the co-parenting piece, and we do that through effective and consistent case management. We also provide parenting skills through the agencies that we fund. So we recognize the importance and how valuable and really how common it is that the people that come through our programs may not have had a parent or both parents in their lives, or had an example of what it means or what it's like, or what it contains to be a parent. And so with that being the case, we also provide effective parenting skills. And so a lot of fathers that come through our program, we provide effective barrier removal. So a lot of guys need assistance with employment. They need assistance maybe engaging or re-engaging with their children. So we focus on that. The economic stability component is vitally important as well, because again, we recognize if a father is positioned to take care of himself, he is better positioned to take care of his children. So the programs that we fund, they place an emphasis on economic stability. That's helping them find a job, maybe helping them find a better job, helping them obtain maybe a GED or some certification. So at the end of the day, again, they are positioned to not only take care of themselves, but to take care of their family. So that is our See Fathers program in a nutshell. We also have currently 6 pilot programs that we fund. And the focus on our pilot programs is that they provide or offer something unique in the fatherhood space. So I take our Clean Enterprises program as an example. They are in incarcerated settings and do a lot with that population and helping them transition from an incarcerated setting back into society. They have halfway housing. Um, they provide them with life skills training so that again, the transition from being incarcerated to moving back into the world um, isn't as challenging. I look at community legal aid. They are a group of attorneys that are working in Northeast Ohio to provide equal opportunities to fathers as well. Another example would be Passages. Our Passages program, we like them, and their unique perspective is that they are fully engaged with children's services. So not only are they engaged, they actually have a staff member housed in the children's services building. And the whole point is that when parents or families are torn apart, maybe because of abuse or drug use, and children's services gets involved, what we have found is fathers are not being contacted or asked to be engaged with their children. And so we thought it would be valuable to add a staff person to be able to go inside and advocate for fathers, to help them with their case plan, to say, hey, here's a father over here that is active and ready and engaged to take care of or provide for their child or children, as opposed to maybe entering the foster care system. And so, again, Passages is doing a phenomenal job of changing the narrative of children's services and advocating for children, fathers, and families. So we have pilot programs that, again, their focus is on offering something unique and different from our core fatherhood programs. And then we also have our Ohio County Fatherhood Mobilization Initiative. And the whole idea behind this is that if a county comes together and has interest in beginning some sort of fatherhood initiative, we have some seed funding that we provide to help them really assess their capacity, their ability to build out or scale a fatherhood program in their community. And so we have three components of that, one of which is a needs assessment. The second is a community conversation. So a conversation that takes place around the need for fatherhood programming in their community, what components would be effective in building out a program in their community, and then to come up with an action plan to actually formulate and build that out. And we provide $10,000 one-time seed funding round of $10,000 to help, again, start a program in their respective communities. And so within that, we ask that you build out a leadership team, and you must have at least 7 of these 9 options when you're building out that particular team. So we find that if you have a diverse group coming together, the likelihood of that particular program being successful increases, because you're able to leverage unique perspectives amongst the people involved. So, 20 minutes isn't a whole lot of time. So me and Scott wanted to try and breeze through this as quickly as possible. Hopefully, the information that we provided in the short period of time was valuable, and we wanted to make sure we left a few moments for questions.
Thank you both so much. That was a lot of information. You all are doing a lot, and thank you for sharing that. I will also encourage anybody to drop a question in the chat. You're welcome to come off mute as well, and so I'll just make space for that here for me.
And I'm not sure, Caitlin, if I mentioned that our next commission meeting is July 17th. It's at the Rife Tower, 19th floor. I'm not sure the exact room number, but we can get that information out. We'd love to have anyone attend that's interested. And the meetings are 10 to noon. And we get a lot of great information out. I think we might have some legislators too at the next meeting. Senator Gavaroon and Rep. John, you're going to talk about shared parenting legislation. And so we'd love to have some folks come.
And they and to mention as well, they are online as well.
Yes.
Thank you for that. How often do you have meetings? Are they monthly, quarterly?
They're 5 times a year. Well, we're required by statute 4 times. We usually try to do 5. So that would be a little more than quarterly. But yeah, 5 times a year. We usually get those meeting dates out early in the year, and we can certainly provide those as well.
Thank you, Scott. That would be great. It's good to know that that's a public option to be able to attend those meetings and to really hear the conversations as they're taking place.
Absolutely. We love to have engagement from the public, and the more people that, like I said, sometimes this is kind of a hidden policy area. So we love to have people, engaged in our work and asking questions and supporting what we're doing.
Sarah, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you so much for this presentation. You briefly touched about the state budget, but could you talk a little bit more about the funding for the commission that's in the state budget and kind of how you're feeling going into these final couple weeks?
Well, I'll say what I know, and Ashiko, you can jump in too, but I know that was put in, it was a total of 20 million. I think it's 15 million one year, and I can't remember which year, 5 million the other year. It's based on a Florida statute. I think that Kim Dent had some advance notice of that, and Director Wente. We were kind of surprised at that, but I think that goes back to, I think originally Kim had envisioned that we could, I think she envisioned maybe 10 million per year, but I think that was sort of a goal that she would like to get to that level of funding. So I don't know how they came up with that amount. Like I said, it's based somewhat on the Florida statute, and Florida does not even have a fatherhood commission. I think we're one of the few, or maybe the only one in the country that actually has a commission in statute. And so I believe that they were looking at our commission, but then I think their governor had something to do with this, but I think they had to actually contract with another nonprofit organization to do this because they did not have a commission. But say what you know, Ashiko. What do you know about it?
Yeah, Scott. So the total amount, you're correct, is we're looking at 20 million. The 5 million for the first year, and then 15 million for the second year. And it is the first year is ramp up, and then it is all again built around this initiative that is came from the Florida model. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of decisions to make. But what it does do is provide us an opportunity to really expand into all of our 88 counties. It allows us to really drive home the message.
So it's a good thing. Hopefully it will stick in the final budget.
for that question, Sarah. And for
And,
your
and Finance Chair Serena, I know in his floor speech yesterday mentioned it. He was a commission member. So I do believe that he is well aware of the work of the commission and supports the work of the commission. So that's what we know.
Any other questions? Again, you're welcome to raise your hand, come off mute, drop in the chat.
And I think, Ashiko, you mentioned that your office is housed under the Department of Children and Youth. And that was a change when that department was established, because the office used to be under Job and Family Services. So that's a pretty recent change. And I think a good one.
Thank you for your insights, Scott. There are no additional questions.
I think
We'll let you-
Eileen in the chat had a question.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. Eileen has asked, what kind of vision for the commission would you have if you did get the funding level that you should have?
Okay, I think Ashiko kind of answered that. In terms of hitting all 88 counties, is that pretty much, Ashiko? Is that correct?
You know, Scott, I think that
Did we lose him?
Ashiko's connection, I
Okay.
think that we might have lost him. Yeah.
So expanding our work further to hopefully eventually all 88 counties, that would be huge. So that's a good
Absolutely.
question.
And Scott, do you know how many counties off the top of your head you're working in now? I know that Ashiko shared the map, but I can't remember the number.
Didn't remember that, and I'm looking here. Is that number? I'm looking at his map here. I don't have the total here, but I'd be glad to get you that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Scott. And surely that funding to expand to statewide access would make a huge impact.
Yes.
And you all are doing a lot of really amazing work in the counties where you are working, and we hope to see you expand, and really excited for the funding that has been proposed in the Senate's version of the budget to support your work and grow your work. And
Well, thank you,
Scott,
Caitlin.
deeply appreciate you being here this morning, and thank you for sharing your insights and your expertise. We will certainly get this recording out to you all, as well as the additional information that Scott shared about the upcoming meeting that anyone is welcome to attend or view online. Ashiko and Scott, thank you so much for being here today. We've really enjoyed having you, and I wish everyone a wonderful Thursday. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye now.